It sucks to see the rest of the division get slowed down like this, but that has nothing to do with me. With that single line on X, Jon Jones poured gasoline on a heavyweight title saga that's already on fire. The undisputed heavyweight champ is currently in Thailand, far from the Octagon, and even further from a unification bout with interim champion Tom Aspinall. But his online rants have only fueled growing calls for the belt to be stripped. Now, with Francis Ngannou's coach recently confirming that the Predator would be open to a UFC return if Dana White's ready for it, the frenzy surrounding Jones has only grown louder. And the UFC boss? Well, he's finally responded. At the UFC 316 post-fight press conference, when asked about Bones' claims and recent ex-posts suggesting he's ready to vacate the title, White didn't sugarcoat his confusion. He said he's ready to vacate the belt. He shot back. When the journalist who had asked the question responded by stating, he said he doesn't care if you strip him, hell vacate it, White dropped the bombshell. According to the UFC head honcho, crazy, yeah, I've been busy, I haven't been keeping up with the gossip. He comes back, he's either back today or came back yesterday. Whatever, he's in Thailand. So we'll be home tonight and Tuesday, we'll figure this out. Then came another twist, Francis Ngannou. A reporter brought up Jones' preference to fight Ngannou over Aspinall as the undisputed heavyweight champion had recently claimed, that's a real super fight. White could only laugh. After all, this is the same man he had once vowed would never be in the UFC again. Yet when pressed further about the possibility of Jones ducking Tom Aspinall, White bluntly shared, Tom Aspinall's the guy, he's the guy. Listen, if the guy wants to retire, and doesn't want to fight, nothing you can do. I didn't want Khabib to retire, I thought DC should have stayed in longer. So, it's none of my business. I'll do what I can to make the fight if we can. If he's talking that crazy I didn't realize that. The UFC boss isn't wrong here. Tom Aspinall is currently the longest reigning interim champion in UFC history since he captured the crown by knocking out Sergey Pavlovich at UFC 295. Since then, he's made a case for unification more concrete by defending the belt against Curtis Blades at UFC 304. Yet, still no signs of a clash against Jones on the horizon. And the fans? They've taken matters into their own hands with a petition that currently sits at 187,691 signatures on change.org. However, when the movement was brought to Dana White's attention, he had an interesting response, to say the least. When a reporter brought up the petition to strip Jon Jones to Dana White at the UFC 316 post-fight press conference, let's just say he wasn't exactly swayed. White fired back with, every human on earth was demanding it to me, and yeah, I saw it. So, is he going to do anything about it? When reminded of his fan-first approach towards the sport, the UFC boss responded with, how many fans are there worldwide? What's the number? Like 400 million or something like that, 130,000 people want to see him stripped. While the number is closer to 200,000. White wasn't having it as he shut down the door with, I'm not saying that, it's just kinda silly. In other words, don't hold your breath. And as for Jones, he couldn't resist taking a jab as he wrote on X. Instead of signing some petition, I'm gonna need at least 205-page essays from TA fans around the world. Double-spaced, MLA format. Convince me. My team will pick their favorites and get back to you, eventually. In the end. For a promotion that prides itself on meritocracy and giving fans the fights they want, letting this drama drag on sends the wrong message. Jon Jones may be a legend, but the belt should move with the division, not stay locked away in limbo. The fans, nearly 200,000 strong, screaming into the void with a petition that's now met with shrugs and sarcasm. That leaves us with more questions than answers. Will Jon Jones return to unify the belts? Will the UFC and Dana White finally pull the trigger and strip him? Or will Francis Ngannou rise from the shadows for a clash years in the making? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.